Yo guys, what is going on? My name is Antoine, but you can also say that I'm your favorite college dropout, right? Okay, let's actually play some SG. This is gonna be awful. So, for you guys that missed my video yesterday, you may be confused. I officially dropped out of college. Now, when I say officially, I mean for this semester, I'm obviously going to be going back to college, else my mom would literally cut my head off. It wouldn't even be, it would just, my head gone. Like, I'm dead if I don't go back to college. And that's totally fine. Obviously, you can tell this is a much more lighthearted video than the one that I did before. This is just gonna be more joking about it and, like, talking about it in a lighter way. And I'm also gonna go over how weird my teachers were, and that was the main reason that made me drop out. But yeah, if you didn't see yesterday's video, I recommend seeing that first. All right, now that you've totally seen that video and just didn't... okay, now that you've totally seen that video, we're gonna play some SG and we're gonna talk about the reasons why I dropped out. So, like I said in my video, the non-fun reasons, or the hilarious reasons, are that, you know, the program just wasn't for me. I wasn't learning anything, and I said in that video, you know, I don't mind relearning things because it's just a way to sharpen up on your skills, which is like something that I totally support. Like, if I had to take a basic Photoshop class again, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, that makes sense. But if I have to take a class that is absolutely no meaning to graphic design, aka welding, which I did, no, I was not happy with that, and I really wanted to drop out as early as the first day of college last semester in the fall. Oh, I'm gonna die here. Oh, just kidding. I'm a Minecrafter. Holla at your boy. And that was the first time in my life I said that unironically. But anyway, we're just going to keep talking here. I don't even remember what my train of thought was about. Yeah, classes that sucked and that had no use to being to me. Oh, wanted to drop out like the first day of college in the fall. I was like, Mom, this is not gonna work, I'm telling you right now. And she's like, you know what, you gotta like go through this whole semester. And I was like, Mom, I'm telling you right now. And she's like, go through the whole semester. And then I didn't really have a choice, so I got through the whole semester. And then I was really looking forward to this thing. Like, this is like, it's hilarious. Like, okay, let's get real for a second. Like, it's hilarious in a way what my teachers did, and we'll discuss that. This is probably gonna be a longer SG because the stories are absolutely ridiculous. But it's hilarious what they did, right? But at the end of the day, I dropped out of college because of what these teachers were doing, and that should say something. Like, it was so bad. It was such a bad environment, and like I don't understand how these people were allowed to teach in a college. I really don't. And yeah, it was rough overall, and it was really hard leaving my friends like that. Like, leaving the friends I had at college. None of them know that I do YouTube, so none of them are gonna be watching this video. But like, they were all really nice people, and you know, I'm gonna obviously continue talking to them, but I'm gonna miss those guys. And they were guys and gals. They were all really cool, and it's gonna stink. But you know, now I can, you know, work and focus on design more, which is really all I've ever wanted to do. But now that's all the boring stuff. It's fun teacher weirdo time. So the classes that I took this semester were a writing class on social media, which was a required thing, but I got to choose the topic, so I chose social media because that's easy peasy, and I could just talk about and write about YouTube all day, and that was the plan for that class if I stayed in colegio. I'm a Spanish major now, you guys know it, but obviously I didn't. The other classes were 3D, or no, I had 3D last semester. I had 4D, visual thinking, and 2D. So 4D, if you don't know what 4D is, it's okay. I didn't know what 4D was until I read the syllabus. What it is it's the use of time in art. Not like film time. Well, I guess kind of like they use cameras and stuff, but it's not like film. It's more like showing the progression of time, like how something changes over time. Like, that's kind of how it goes. All right, so this is a really bad way to start off this story and a way to tell it, but I'm going to try with the 4D story because this was the first real class I had, or the first art class that I had. I had my my writing class earlier in the day, and I loved it, and I was so motivated this semester, you know, to try and make the best of what was gonna happen. I did my writing homework for the whole week. Like, I wrote 2 essays, done. Like, on the first day before I had a 5-hour break. I wrote all the essays in between the writing class and then 4D. So I go to 4D, right? Okay, wait, are we gonna have to do some intense Minecraft combat? Because then I'm just gonna wait a second. No, we're not gonna have to do intense Minecraft combat because I'm gonna get targeted by this guy and I'm gonna get smacked up. Oh, fire! Oh, that guy's a dead. Why are you going for me? Hello, do you not see the dead person? Minecraft! I'm so bad. I haven't played in like a week, so give me some slack. I didn't like play that much. Actually, that's a lie. I played a little bit when I was in college. Oh no, I'm dead. Minecraft! No, they were one shot. I suck. So I went into this class with like such a good mindset. I was like, you know, I'm gonna try and enjoy this class. I really want to make the most of this semester because I don't want to have to leave. Literally, leaving was the last thing I wanted to do. The first semester I was like, yeah, get me out of there. And then I got like so close to my friends, like I didn't want to leave. But then we have this boy, and I'm gonna try so bad. I'm gonna try to not be as racist as I possibly can. So, like, because it's important to note, like, this guy could not speak English. He had a very, very heavy French accent, and just couldn't speak English. I didn't even know what accent it was, to be honest, until he started talking about French things. I really can't click. And then, like, he started to pronounce the French things perfectly. I was like, oh, yep, okay, so he is 100% French. And this guy's also, like, at least 6'5". I'm a small dude. Like, if you guys don't know, I'm 5'6". I'm tiny. And this guy's, like, 6'5" at bare minimum. And he was insanely skinny. Like, I don't think he was 200 pounds. Like, he was a skinny dude. So, there's your picture of this guy. Really tall, guy who can't speak English, teaching a 40 class. So the majority of the class, like, it was kind of boring because, you know, he couldn't like, you know, speak English. So we were trying to go through the whole syllabus, and it was just a rough time. It took like 2 hours to get through the syllabus, and then we watched all these weird ass videos. Like, we watched this dude push ice through a city for like 9 hours, but the video itself was 9 minutes. It was just like a compilation of him pushing ice through Mexico City, like literally pushing a block of ice on the street of Mexico City for 9 hours. That was that's 4D for you. Whole bunch of other dumb stuff that I really don't want to remember. But yeah, so that was like, at the first I was like, okay, you know, I can deal with this. And then he's like, you know what, if you guys haven't seen the installation room yet, we're gonna go down. And this is where it's very important to note, I am the only male, I was the only male art student at the college I was at. Yes, you heard that correctly. Freshman to senior, I was the only male art student in the entire building. Now, most of the faculty, faculty was like 50-50, if not a little bit more female, but like, there were definitely a decent amount of male teachers. But I was the only male student in the entire building. Like 110 like students, I'm the only male. It was weird. I'm not a charismatic guy at all. Many of you may know that. I'm not charismatic at all. No people skills whatsoever, especially with girls. No, I'm 18, still can't do it. If you're like 14 watching this video and you can't talk to your crush, it's okay. I can't either. I got a great IRL story one time. Please remind me to tell it. Anyway, back to this. So we go down to this installation room, and remember, it's like me and 20 girls in this class. And in his, like, I'm really like, the reason it was more creepy is because he really couldn't speak English, and he was like trying to get it out, and I think he was trying to not sound creepy, but by doing so, it made it even more creepy. So he's like, okay, everyone put your hands and back up against the wall. And we were like, what? Wait, what do you want us to do? You want us to put our backs against the wall and put our hands against the wall? Like, am I gonna get shot? Like, what is going on? And then he's like, okay, you know, we're gonna set the mood a little bit. That's literally like, set the mood a little bit. I'm gonna dim the lights. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually about to die right now. Like, okay, it was a good life. I'm gonna die right now. Goodbye, everyone. And then he's like, okay, now everybody close your eyes and just take in the room. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know if you guys know, I'm in like, when I was in the art school, I'm not an artsy guy. Like, I like graphic design and I like stuff, but like, I'm the guy in museums where it's like, I could do that. And like, I understand like how it works. Like, you could do it, but you didn't. So that's why it's there and not yours. Or you didn't want to, and they spent the time to actually do it. I'm that person in the museum. I could look at something and I'm like, that's nothing. And that's a very disrespectful way to be. And I was awful in the museums when I went with, but I accidentally said the name of my college. That definitely got blurred out. But yeah, I was bad. So like, I was like the dude that no one really liked, but I was like funny because I would leave all like, I don't know if you guys have this in your high school or college or wherever you do school stuff. You know that kid in the back of the classroom that pays absolutely no attention at all? That was me in all of my classes because I just didn't understand what was happening. Everything was way too artsy. But back to this guy in a weird dark room with all of us surrounded on the wall with eyes closed. Then he's like, okay, start walking to your right slowly. And like, we're going around a room. Like, okay, the best way I can picture it is like, okay, here's the square, right? Four things right here. There's the square. So we would like get on the wall and just back up and go around the room like this. It was so weird. And again, we had our eyes closed. But the catch with the eyes closed is that, you know, I'm going to be real here, okay? I'm going to be real for a second. Get real with you guys in person, second person, whatever this is. I'm the only dude in the class, right? I'm not trying to get caught accidentally touching some girl's ass because of this weird ass thing, and then I get in trouble. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm really not. That's not what I want to do. That's the last thing I want to do with this weird ass dude. I wouldn't get caught for accidentally touching someone's ass because I was trying to feel around and couldn't find anything. That was not what I was trying to do. So I squinted the whole time, just in case. So keep that in mind. I was squinting the whole time because I didn't, want to run into someone. Okay? So keep that in mind. So now, in case we needed to get weirder, he's like, okay, now start walking into the room. So now, again, we have our 4 corners. So now we're literally like walking into each other, but no one's like really hitting each other because we're all going so slowly. So he's like, all right, speed it up. This isn't good enough. So then people start bumping into each other. I'm like, what is happening? Okay. And then just when you thought it was getting weird, right? Just when you're like, yeah, this is kind of weird, but like, I don't know why you'd want to drop out of college for this. Just wait. Because this man's puts on a wig, and I don't know how else to describe it, but it was like hella, like at least half back length. Like it went halfway down his back. And remember, he's a big dude. He's 6'5", and it was bright red, and it had weird ass bangs, and he puts it on, and no one sees this because I'm the only one squinting, right? I'm squinting. Everyone else has their eyes closed. And I know this sounds like the most outlandish story ever, but this is why I left this college, because this should not be happening, okay? So that's one of 2, and we're not even done with this guy yet. So now with the wig on, he starts guiding people around the room, right? I still don't have pants in this game. He starts guiding them, like grabs their hand. I wish I had a face cam, but like imagine someone else, holding your hand and saying, here, I'll guide you around the room. And remember, he's got that weird ass dude, like cannot speak English, so it's not working out. And he's just going up to random girls and like, here, I'll help you, for no reason. I have no idea what the point of that was. I don't at all, but that was the thing that happened. And then he's like, okay, everyone open your eyes. And everyone sees he has the wig on, and like no one knows what to do. Everyone's like, okay, like no one knew what to say. And I was like, oh Jesus, please get me out of this class. This is not a real thing that's happening right now. But it was. And then he's like, okay, you know what we're gonna do now? We're gonna get a partner, and you're gonna guide the partner around the room with sound. So what we did is luckily I got a really chill girl. Like she was chill. She was like a senior, I think. So she was like, yeah, I've seen it all at this point in this college. And I was like, no, this is not normal. Please get me out of here. But like, she was cool. So what we had to do is we had to guide the other person around the room by doing this. Yeah, that's right. We had to clap around the room and get them to follow. And then our assignment for that class, due in 2 days, mind you. And like, this was on Monday, so he assigned this for Wednesday. What we had to do was make a 10-minute sound map and make a map of the whole building, right? The whole art building. And then you had to guide this person around by clapping for 10 minutes and had to mark out the time where you like turned. So let's say before they did the thing. I love when like a top 5 player is teaming. It's actually my favorite thing in the universe. So okay, so we had to mark the time. So we had to like do this all before the class. So what I would have had to do if I stayed in the college was like make a sound map and say, oh, at 2:47 we turned left, or at 3:51 we went up the stairs. And if I wasn't correct, I was gonna get penalized. And I was like, what? This is not a real assignment. How is this helping me become a better graphic designer? Please explain how this in any way is making my graphic design better, because I would love to understand how. So I was like, okay, this is really weird, but I'll deal with this class if 2D goes great, because that's the other class I had. 2D, visual thinking, and 4D. And I didn't even go to visual thinking because that was just, nope, gone. At that point, because I already had 2D was before visual thinking. So 2D, before, actually, then the class ends, right? 4D ends. And then he's like, okay, you know what? Or, get your things and everything. We go back up. I grab my backpack and everything. And I come down. He's talking to faculty now with the staff. He's talking to faculty with the wig on. Like, he keeps this thing on. And, like, the fact that, like, oh, yeah, this is normal. Yeah, I love when my teacher just puts on a wig. Like, what is going on? I had no clue what was happening, right? And you may think, that's kind of weird, but, like, that doesn't result that you shouldn't drop out of college because of that. Maybe he was just trying to lighten the mood or anything. And, yeah, that's a valid reason. That's a 100% valid reason. I'll give you that. But you haven't heard about the 2D professor yet. I have no idea how long this video is, by the way. I'm definitely not going to cut it because this is just hilarious. This is just hilarity throughout the whole thing. But this teacher legit is out of her mind. Like, you thought that guy was out of her mind? You've heard nothing yet, okay? So, here's this lady. Her last, we'll call the first guy Professor, I don't know, Professor France. And this girl is going to be Professor Puffs, okay? Professor Puffs. So, she is out of her mind. And you know what? Before we go any further, it's important to note that everyone that I've talked to about Mrs. Puffs has said that she is very attractive. And well, not very attractive, but she's pretty attractive, you know, for, you know, a professor and everything. I'm like, just keep that in mind for what I'm going to tell you, right? Oh, hello. Oh, do I have to, like, concentrate? No, I might just get smacked. I might just take the smack right now. We're going to go for some intense Minecraft PvP and see what happens. Minecraft. Minecraft. Are you actually gapping? Alright, this is cool. Jannar's gonna clean me up for the kill. I'll bet my entire life. Bad. I am bad. I am so awful. I am on 5 armor bars. Made you eat a gap, and you had to get your teammate. But I am horrific. This is why I don't take bad lines seriously anymore. Because, like, everyone in the top 25 boosts. Like, it's actually, like, not a joke. Literally everyone boosts. That was bad. But, like, still, you see the point. Good fight. I love Bad Lion! Back to the more important things that is not the server. So remember, Mrs. Puffs, honestly, I'll give her 7 out of 10. Like, she's nice, okay? She's nice. And I told myself, you know, if 2D goes well, I'll suck it up with 4D. And, you know, because 2D in college is supposed to be like Photoshop, Illustrator, stuff like that. And the first thing this lady says when she walks in the classroom is 2D should not be limited. I'm like, what? What do you mean it should not be limited? 2D is 2D. It's 2D. It shouldn't be a discussion. 2D is 2D. Is Raven 86 in here? Raven 86 isn't here. If I kill him, I will scream. I mean, I've killed him multiple times, but it's still a legend. I mean, if you beat, I don't know, sports people, if you beat LeBron James in a one-on-one, you're going to scream. If you beat him multiple times, you're still going to scream at the end of every time you kill him or beat him. You're not killing LeBron James. Again, off topic. I apologize. I'm hoping this video is just hilarious to you. So, like I said, the first thing she does, you know, 2D should not be limited. I'm like, no, 2D is limited. 2D is Photoshop, Illustrator, and aspects like that. If you want to get, you know, technical, you can call Cinema 4D 2D. You know, I'll give you that, I guess. You can limit it. You can make it 2D. You can make it 3D. You can make it 4D if you want. You can do whatever you want. I'll give you that. But you know what's not 2D? You know what's not 2D at all and should not ever be considered 2D? Because it's really an insult to the artists themselves, as well as it's just not 2D. Sculpting is not 2D. A sculpture is not 2D. It's not, because I had a whole class the semester before that was called 3D, and you know what we did? We sculpted. We sculpted in that class. Sculpture is 3D. You know what we didn't do in the 3D class? We didn't do Photoshop. We didn't do Illustrator because those things aren't 3D. And if I wanted to make the case and say, you know what, you can add shading in Illustrator to make it 3D, that's pretty much the same logic she's using to say, you know what, if you take a picture of a sculpture, it's a 2D plane. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind and should not have a teaching degree. And I was like, no, this is not happening. But, you know, so immediately mentally checked out 30 seconds of the class. I'm like, great, here we go. This is awful. This 3-hour class better actually be good, and we better have a nice syllabus. Syllabus, horrible. Don't even remember what was on it. Threw it out as soon as I got out of the classroom. But something that will always stick with me for the rest of my life. Like, French dude, Professor, whatever I called him. I don't even remember what I called him at this point. But that dude, he might not stick with me for the rest of my life. You know, I might not remember him as vividly as I remember this lady. You know how I'm going to remember this lady? Because she said, make sure you know who your professors are. Or no, it was make sure you know who's teaching you. That was the word. So she's like, you should look me up and see the work I do. And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. Maybe you have some really nice, you know, Photoshop work. Maybe you have some nice logo design, stuff like that. Maybe you do things like that. Do you know what I find? Do you know what I find? The first link that comes up with this lady is her Tumblr. Her Tumblr page. Because that's professional. Speaking about Tumblr, do you know what she wanted us to use as a portfolio site? Tumblr. Do you know how insulting that is to someone who has 2 different portfolios on an Adobe site and as a personal college portfolio? Do you know how insulting that is for, like, I don't understand. I don't think you need to be a graphic designer to know that, you know, maybe Tumblr isn't the best site for a portfolio. Maybe it's not the best site in the world, but do you know what's on her portfolio on Tumblr? this is again a real thing. And I'm not going to put the link to it because I don't want her to get harassed or anything. But her entire thing, she also has a YouTube channel. Her entire Tumblr and YouTube channel is her slapping, making out, and deflating in public and in private in her house an inflatable tube man. Let's let that sink in for a second. My 2D teacher wants to use me to A, use Tumblr as a portfolio site while I already have 2 different portfolios. B, wants to say that sculpture is a 2-dimensional thing if you take a picture of it. And C, has her most proud work, her proudest pieces of work are her slapping, making out with, in public, an inflatable tube man. I can't, like, if I made this up and went to Hollywood and said, "Ha, here's a story for a college dropout. This would be a funny story." Hollywood would be like, "No, that's not realistic enough. That couldn't happen." This made me drop out of college. That happened. My teacher is in love with an inflatable tube man. And that's a thing that's going on. And that's normal for this, apparently. Apparently that's a normal thing. That's normal everyday things. I didn't know what to do with myself. I really didn't. I called my mom. I was like, "Mom, you don't understand the last 48 hours I had." Also, it's important to note that the night before my classes started happening, the sink in my dorm started flooding, by the way. And that should have been the first sign to, yeah, this is going to be awful. That should have been the first sign to all of that. Am I going to get, like, the easiest win of my life right now? I think I am. Oh, just kidding, because I'm going to get bowed to absolute death. Yeet, love Bad Lion. But again, I don't care. I just want to talk about these stories. I do apologize, though, if the gameplay was, like, really bad and you weren't, like, immersed in what I was saying. Because, like, the gameplay itself was awful. It was just me running around talking. So I hope that didn't defer you that much. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I call my mom. The flooding sink was the thing. And I was like, this should be a sign. Because literally my sink was flooding from the sink, like, overflowing into the door, like outside, and it smelled like ass. It smelled so bad. I was like, okay. And it, like, the sink, we never turned the sink on. It just flooded up from the top. That was the thing. That was really enjoyable. But that didn't matter. The 4D guy wouldn't have mattered. But inflatable tube lady, Professor Puffs. Oh my goodness. That was that's the thing that happened. And that is why I'm not enrolled in college. So if you saw my video yesterday and you're like, this isn't a good role model for me. I don't know. Like, maybe role models is not the right word, but, this kid's an overprivileged, person who thinks it's just so easy and, wants to just get out of college because they don't want to do the work. You sit in a class with a dude who's trying to do whatever the hell to college freshmen, and you sit in a class with a professor who's literally, making out with inflatable tube men, and then you tell me how that goes. And, if you still tell me that, I should have stuck through it, go for it. Tell me that I should have stuck through it, because I really don't think I should have. And I'm very happy with the decision I made. And if anyone knows me, they know that I have one of the hardest work ethics you will ever see. And I take very much pride into that. I take a lot of pride into my work ethic, and I always try to do the right thing for my future. And everyone knows that. That's why when I take big breaks from YouTube, it's not me, hating YouTube. It's me grinding graphic design stuff because I just got to get it done. And then I can grind back on this. And then right now I'm going to try and grind both, but it's mostly going to be design. And that's why I know right now, when my parents are out of town, I want to stock up on videos because it's going to be easier that way. But yeah, that does it for my college dropout story. This is a real thing that happened. Again, can't make this up. It's just awful. It's just awful. It sucks that the college didn't work out, but I'll have the greatest stories ever. No one will ever top the inflatable lady. It's so weird. It's so oddly weird. But yeah, that's gonna do it here on the College Dropout Mr. Antoine's channel. Tomorrow should be some Oracle. And yeah, I don't say this enough. I really do appreciate having you guys as an audience. It lets me vent. It lets me, voice what I say, and you guys love it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope I edited it in a way that wasn't as boring with all this awful gameplay that I did. Oh, I'm so rusty, and I don't even care anymore. But yeah, that's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. I will see you tomorrow for some Oracle. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.